but we lucked out on a couple of takes where we actually had the gun.
Then we doubled the frames.
Exactly, so we could
Oh,
see
to mention on this shot, this is a shot that you can't do with a camera crane. You can't pull out this fast with a camera crane. So we actually had one of these pods that you have under helicopters that's gyroscopically controlled to stay balanced, rigged it to a huge, like, 80-foot crane, and then Chuck, the key grip, got in a car with a rope attached to this pod and just drove away at 30 miles an hour to get the camera to rise up that fast.
That's great. I didn't realize he did it
30 miles an hour to get the camera to rise up that fast.
That's great. I didn't realize he did it with a car.
Yeah.
That is a lovely shot.
Oh, that set. Love this set. This is now, the 4 years later, and a number of changes have taken place. Nice wardrobe and general appearance. Pretty good like this.
Yes, he did, actually.
I won't go away.
Lighting in this section. Don went for a very, very stark daylight, shafting in kind of thing, and the whole field was wonderful. Logical, it's a little strange that Alexander is still doing calculations when he's pretty much finished building the machine, and indeed he still has pieces of a machine lying around and he's moving around with them, but that's the nature of film storytelling, isn't it?
That's right. Well, plus, maybe he's just working out his final settings before he gets on the time machine.
Really?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Thank you.
I won't leave. Please stand still.
That I think remain complete from the original script. Quite often there are scenes, most scenes have odd lines here and there cut out, or sometimes big sections of the scene cut out, but this one I think actually remained intact.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the only thing
John Logan's original script.
We dropped in editing, we dropped just a tiny bit at the very beginning when
oh yes,
Philby first sees him up there.
Yeah,
right?
And looks around the room, and the point of view of the room somehow never cut in properly.
Yeah, it never quite worked right.
Alexander.
That's one of the things that Guy went back, and when we looped certain lines later, he asked if you could change this line. I will change it, and made it a whispered thing. Just went for a little bit more intensity.
I want to have faith.
Interesting the things that you can do sort of after the fact to slightly alter the acting performance. And the actors can do, and we can do things too, but try not to.
Exactly. Sometimes when Guy was so consistent that many times if there was a technical problem with a line, like an airplane on a take, or a piece of set dressing making a noise while he was talking, I could take a take from another performance and put it in his mouth, and you really couldn't tell.
Even on close-ups.
Even on close-ups, yeah.
Deliberately set up as an angle and a composition that we repeat later on when there's the dream that Ubermorlock creates within Alexander.
Right.
That shot, we actually shot that shot originally with Guy, and at the time when we were shooting the whole setup. And then, I think one of the executives from Warner Brothers suggested it would be nice to have some dedication to Emma within the watch that would give more significance to the watch. So we went back and actually located all the bits of furniture and got all of the watches and stuff back together and reshot the shot.
Matched him.
And the whole design of the room, I'm sure Oliver will talk about this as well, was designed around that shot where the time machine is revealed. So the archways and the columns and the shape of the greenhouse and everything was all essentially designed around the machine. Is one of my favorite props from any movie. I'm so proud of the results of this.
I have to say, it really looks great in your living room too.
I can't actually live in my living room anymore, but
made a hell of a coffee table.
It's great to sit in it and watch television. Actually, I haven't got it. I don't know where it is. I think it's in a big packing crate, like in the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just been put in some storage somewhere. Too dangerous. But this is the machine itself was actually built by Matt Sweeney's effects company. And they were just, over the moon, because this is the kind of thing which effects companies live for, is to build these kind of props. And it's about $1 million. It took 12 people, or 3 or 4 months to build it.
Well, it was as impressive in person as it looks on film, which is not always the case with movie props.
It was a damn dangerous prop. When we fired it up and actually got things spinning, we had to keep the crew sort of stood back, and bells and lights going off to warn everyone that the thing was spinning up. because there's half a ton of plastic spinning around there, and aluminum.
Those are what, plexiglass?
Yeah, polycarbonate. It has a very similar refractive index to glass.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of work. I'm sure Oliver will talk about the various people who went into the building of that machine. This is another setup with the watches that was done yet again at a later date, so reassembling the group of watches once more. And this particular watch was rigged with a spindle inside that we could spin up backwards. It was actually a shot. The shot was done motion control, shot at a different speed.
And shot backwards, I think, or something. I can't
Oh,
remember.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Again, it was done by Illusion Arts. They had a little insert stage at their studio that we put that together on. Actually tell, but this is a different shot from the other establishing shot, because in the other establishing shot you could actually see Emma. In this one you couldn't. No one can actually spot her even on film, but because of course she's not out there skating, because she's there in line to pick up her skates.
That's right.
It's several minutes earlier.
Now that we've said that, I hope it's true, because everybody has a DVD and they can go back and check that.
It's definitely true. Extraordinary.
Yeah.
He was so amazingly focused in and living it.
I wanted to see.
Sienna's performance here is remarkable.
What?
I feel like, oh come on, why did you why did you take her off into the town? There she was, eager to go for a walk in the woods. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Also, the thing where you'd put a different piece of music bringing us in. And I remember seeing this the first time and saying, wait a minute, you've got the wrong music. It should be the, sweet, what was the piece of music?
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
Rosie O'Grady.
Right.
And then the music changed at that point when his eyes snap open to the Rosie O'Grady. Because we come in on Watch Me Dance the Polka, and then it changes to Rosie O'Grady, and that sort of triggers Alexander's change. So it's such a brilliant idea, which we hadn't got in our original script, and hadn't shot it thinking that, but then you'd edited that in. It's terrific. Yeah, there's a shot missing in there that I still kind of wish we had in.
Well, you know what I think. I totally agree.
Which is, as the couple run off, we had a whip pan back, and we pick up the original 1890s Alexander running up exactly as he had done earlier on in the film, and he runs up, and then Emma isn't there, and he looks around and looks lost. Brilliantly realized in the end shot, but it opened up a whole line of thinking of, okay, what's happening to the 1890s Alexander through all of this?
Right.
And since we never paid that off, we decided to take it out, but I'm still really pleased with the way that shot worked.
Yeah, me too.
Troy, yes, over a couple of nights, and we set dressed the entire street, which is why we only had a couple of nights to shoot it in. And again, hundreds of extras and carriages going past, and
Our famous Stanley steamer.
walking up the street was a little longer. We trimmed that down.
Yes,
To get to this moment sooner. This is where Klaus wrote the music, and we then slid it around, moved it up into different places. Klaus threw up his hands and said, I don't know why I even write some film. I just write some bits of music and you stick them wherever you like.
You must trust me.
It was really bitterly
Oh,
cold.
it was freezing cold. There was a wind that got up just in the beginning of the second night, wasn't it? And it was really chilled. And then we spent an awful lot of the night trying to do the stunt with the horses riding in, which we ended up actually doing as a second unit, and matting them in later. The fleur-de-lis florist actually exists in Troy. It's really there on that street, and it is called the fleur-de-lis florist.
It's that actual shot?
Yeah.
Oh,
it doesn't look like that. We built a frontis onto it, but it's kind of part of the deal to let us use their shop as a practical
Oh, there's a familiar
location.
face.
Alan Young, of course, who was Philby in the original Time Machine back in 1960. Different ways. Originally, you could actually see Emma fall down and be trampled by the horses, and it never really got the reaction. It always felt a little bit comical from the way she fell down. And I think it was your idea, Wayne, to try trimming it.
Yes.
Oh, actually, no, Walter Parks called up and said, I've got an idea about what we could do
Well,
about
it was
this area, and you had already done that very edit.
That's right. Exactly. It was a convention.
This was the last shot we got at the end of the night, literally the sky was starting to turn blue.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. You've done that, and the night's over. saw the movie just recently, and he said, you know, what you should have done with this morgue scene is you should have had Alexander wearing different clothes and looking even more bedraggled, maybe more unshaven, and he should have said, I've tried to save her 17 times.
I'm so sorry.
Because one of the things that came up over and over again when we were talking in script about this is how many times should Alexander try and save Emma?
Right, I remember I had the same note. when
And
I
the
first
problem
read
is
it.
that the moment you go back and try and save her a third time, it becomes Groundhog Day.
Right.
You know, the audience is going to be falling around laughing, and how are you going to kill her the third time? You know, and after the fourth or fifth time, you're going to be dropping a safe on her head and things like that. So there's no way we could actually show multiple attempts to save her. But that would have actually been a really good way of stepping over it, to have him just refer to the fact. Pity, really.
Yeah, it might have been a good way to go. Or though, I think you get the
Oh,
idea
yeah.
that you know, sort of fate is against him, and that sort of motive.
Okay. I forgot to stop the 24 minutes. My bad. Alright. Coming soon.